Shut up. That's why you're treating this. I don't know. I mean, for the rest of for me, like you got them all down pat, right? How many of you have enough for the next couple months? All right. So that's why we're here tonight. It's all about bookings. So if you need bookings on your calendar, if you need new ideas of how to get bookings on your calendar, if you're wondering when I get to my show, how do I get bookings on my calendar, it's all going to be covered tonight. We've got some of the best that are literally getting bookings every time they turn around, pick up the phone, get a home show, whatever it is. So then you're going to be hearing from like the best of the best. So in order to get prepared to get bookings, you need a few different things. One is your calendar. There are so many different ways to keep your calendar, whether it's an at-a-glance calendar or a one-sheet page. Anyone have an at-a-glance with them?
Yeah, it's a really big map. It kind of looks like something like this, like the month you get. See, like this? It fell apart, because that's how much I was using it. but yeah, so like an at-a-glance is like a month. And you also see it fell apart.
So the first thing is you want to know how you're keeping your calendar. Don't try booking shows without having your calendar physically with you, whether you're on the phone talking to someone or you're at a home show booking someone. You have to have your calendar there ready to be booked. So you need to know what nights you want to work. More importantly, what nights you cannot work. You do not want to resent this business. You will resent it if you book shows the nights where you really don't want to be booking shows or the days that you don't want to be booking shows. Remember, this is your business. You work it around your family. You work it around your life. This is your business. You don't have anyone else telling you what nights to work or what nights you're doing shows. You tell yourself what nights you're doing shows. Because I promise you, they will book shows when you are available. It can be on a Monday night, not the Monday of training, but it can be a Monday night. Everyone's like, well, no one will do shows on a Monday. Oh, they sure will. They'll do shows any night that you want to do a show. They will do shows on a Sunday afternoon, a Saturday morning. You name it, they'll do a show because you know what you're giving them? A lot of free jewelry. So just make sure you know what days, what nights, what hours you want to work. Block the ones off that you don't, just so there's no confusion when you get there or when you got them on the phone. Can you do this date? If they see it open, they're going to think that you're open. So even if it's you've got nothing planned except for sitting at home in your pajamas with a bucket of ice cream, mark that date off because you have something going on. That's very important. If you haven't had Lucia's Canoli ice cream, get a thing of that. Just saying. It's amazing.
I got gypped on Saturday.
I got something else delicious.
Oh, another option to do if you don't have it at the glance, you can do a one-sheeter. This is how I keep my calendar, but figure out what works for you. So I just write down the dates that I'm available to work. They don't see a calendar, and then they fill in the dates that are free. If you use it at a glance, you can highlight the dates that you want to work. So many different ways of keeping it. Just talk to your upline if you don't have a solid way that's already working for you. But that's huge, is to know your calendar. Second thing at your show that you want to have, that you have to make sure that you use and you have, are surveys. Okay, make sure if you're not using them, next show, get them out and make sure you're using it because this will help you book, this will help you sponsor, it helps you with every aspect of your business. There's a ton of surveys out there. There is not one that's better than another. Pick one that you like and use them. Make sure you're following up with these though, because they're not going to do any good if someone fills it out, gives it back to you, and you put it into a folder never to be seen again. These have to be followed up with. Okay, so just make sure that that's another thing that you're working with. So those are the things that you need, and then obviously the booking activity and stuff. But we're going to have Nikki come up here. I'll preface this by saying I made her train tonight because she is just getting back into her premier business. She had a baby who was born very, very early, so she has been home with the baby for 8 months now?
Almost 9
months, okay. Yeah. She's doing amazing, little Meredith. But Nikki had to basically, she left her job so she could stay home with her kids, partly because of the health concerns, basically.
Yeah, no daycare.
Yeah, can't go to daycare. So she was like, okay, I need accountability. I was like, all right, you're going to hate me, but, so I text her every day of, how are your calls today? She said she's going to make calls, so it's kind of just the accountability.
I asked for this.
She did.
I came up with the idea. It's not like she's like,
right. I did warn her that she was going to hate hearing my voice, seeing my text by the end of the month. We're only about 2 weeks in, but you haven't hated me yet, so we're good. But you have to hear what's working. Like, this is incredible. So she's just going to brag on herself. She didn't want to sound like she was bragging, but I told her, you got to brag on yourself. It's amazing.
So last month I met with Lori because I realized I really need to get back into Premiere. I miss it. And I figured new jewelry, why not? It's the best time to get out there. I was really dragging my feet. I really didn't want to take any time away from my family. My daughter spent 3 months in the NICU, and every moment I have with her at home is so precious to me. I didn't want to take a minute here to make a phone call or 15 minutes here to do hostess packets or invitations or whatever. I was like, forget it. I can do Premiere whenever. I can pick it up. And what other job can you say that? Is that you can just drop it, forget about it, that's it, and then say, okay, now I'm ready. I can pick it back up. I mean, I even paid my renewal back in March, and I was like, whatever, I'll figure it out later. But I finally said, all right, new jewelry's out. I met with Lori before training last month for an hour. And I came up with the idea of having her text me or call me every day, Monday through Friday, and make sure I made 5 phone calls. That's all it is. 5 phone calls. That's all I'm doing. I might do more because I can't get a hold of somebody, but you have to speak to somebody. It's not 5 phone calls leaving messages. It's you're calling people and actually speaking to them. For me, at first, it was 5 people who I needed to get home shows. Now that I have my home shows, I'm changing it. 3 people for home shows and 2 people for OPs every day. So that's what I'm doing now.
Wow, good for you. And the results?
Well, I had 1 show on my calendar for August. That was it when I started this. Now I had 5 shows end up being, so total 6 shows for August. I have 9 shows for September, and I have 7 shows for October. And I had 5 OPs.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What are you saying to people?
That's where Well, I've been calling, I literally grabbed I've been in Premiere for 2 years now. So I literally grabbed my box of everything that I have. Customer receipts, surveys. I'm a hoarder with Premiere for some reason. And everything else I throw away. I don't care. My kids stuff, my husband yells at me. So whatever, give it to me. Where with Premiere, I hoard everything. So I literally pulled out everything I could to call people. I called past hostesses. I called every single hostess that I've ever had to rebook. I've had almost all of them rebook.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Yes. It was wonderful. Then I called customers. I didn't care if they ordered a $19 pair of earrings or they ordered $150 worth of jewelry. I called them and I just basically said to them, I'm doing a challenge. I didn't say who was giving it to me. I was giving it to myself. That I am trying to restart my business and I'm trying to book as many shows as I possibly can. My goal is to do 8 to 10 shows a month because I'm staying home. I quit my full-time job, so I need that income to pay our bills and make sure we have savings. I'm an accountant. Savings is important. So, any past customer that I had, I actually have some verbiage that I will actually pass out to you. But basically, I'm calling them, hi, so-and-so. This is Nikki from your favorite Premiere jewelry lady. I'm calling to see if you're still happy with whatever pieces, because you have all the data on your order forms or Hidden House or whatever you're using, bought from whoever show that they bought the items from. And if there's any problems, obviously you're going to offer to do exchanges or anything that you need to take care of it then. And then I go into the new catalog was just released, and why not get the new line for free by hosting your own jewelry show? Just for hosting a show in whatever month that I'm trying to book, I'm offering any special. Right now I'm offering a free pair of earrings out of the catalog or $25 extra in free jewelry for their show. Don't feel like you have to write this down. I'm going to pass out a handout that has all of this, so don't feel like you have to write it down. And then also, if the Premiere is obviously running a special, so when I was trying to book August a couple weeks ago, I was really pushing that extra double bonus and explaining the new benefits that we have. They're working. I don't know what it is, but that $50, when I hear $50, I'm like, wow. I only have to do, a few things. I just had a show Sunday. The hostess booked again in January because she only needed one more booking to get another $50 and double her to $200. So it's really working. And then I was wondering if you would be interested in helping me out by hosting a show for me. I'm currently trying to, whatever I'm trying to do. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk to me. Make sure you thank them when you're done because they are busy. And a lot of people don't like to answer numbers they don't know. But for some reason, like Hilary said, call in like late afternoon, they pick up for some reason. I don't know if it's
fine, they think like something like for kids or something.
right. I don't know if it's that or doctors, like people calling about doctor's appointments or what. But if you call like between, I think I like 2:30ish to like 4:30, they'll pick up for some reason. I don't get it. So if you're working full time, just take like your late lunch break or something, or even just 5 minutes to make a few phone calls.
That's always my stumbling block. When should I call? So no, thank you for taking
Yeah, I definitely think that's a good time. I got.
Thursday nights too.
Oh really? Oh, I have shows so.
Yeah.
Not Tuesday,
If you don't have shows, make calls.
And I found after 7, I always call after dinner. I do not call after 8:30. I have children, and I'm putting them to bed between 8 and 9. I don't want to be bothered. I don't answer my phone, so I usually call between 7 and 8:30. Mostly, I try to get done by 8, just because people do put their kids down, and they don't want to be bothered. It's their time. Their kids are asleep. I like it. I know other people like it, so. Then obviously past hostesses, they're huge. They know how much free jewelry they're going to get. They're going to rebook if you call them a special. It's very similar. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but when I pass it out, please take a look at it. But again, it's just, tell them you had so much fun the last time with their friends and family that you want to rebook and see everyone again. Because a lot of my hostesses are my friends now. I mean, I have one hostess that I would have never met if it wasn't for Premier. She came to see me in the hospital when my daughter was born. She walked with us to help raise money for Galliano Children's Hospital. I mean, she's phenomenal. I just am cleaning out a bunch of Rooster stuff. She's doing Rooster stuff for her kitchen now, so I'm giving it all to her. Like, thank God for Premier and these hostesses. I would have never met this wonderful woman. My neighbor, she's here tonight because she's interested in the business. I would have never really gotten to know her if it wasn't for Premier and reaching out to her and inviting her to my training show. I mean, it's unbelievable. So make those connections with those hostesses, because when you call them back up, they're going to help you out because they know how much free jewelry they're going to get with their shows. Then the newest thing that I'm doing, which I'm so uncomfortable with, I'm actually making up a list of Facebook friends that have their phone numbers on Facebook. Well, it's out there. I'm going to use it. I don't care. if you're dumb enough to put your
You're not supposed to do that.
So now I actually did today my first time doing this. It was so nerve-wracking because I don't like talking to people about what I do for some reason, and it's nerve-wracking if they don't know what I'm doing. So I emailed Lori last week, and she kind of sent me some verbiage. So I'll kind of read through it because I'm still practicing. So I'm not sure what if you know what I do, but I own my own business in high fashion jewelry with Premier Designs. I love to share what I'm doing because I love this business and offer a lot of different services that you may have a need for, someone you may know. I'm working on, and then whatever goal that you have. Do you mind if I share what I do with you? We are a home show business, which means I can conduct business anywhere, which is great. I can do home shows. You invite a few friends. I'll show the current fashion trends and all the different ways of wearing the jewelry. An average hostess gets $200 in free credit. And then what Lori wrote for me is quickly explain the different ways you can do a home show. You can do it at a coffee house. Because a lot of people are afraid to have people at their home, which I don't know why. Maybe because they have to clean. I don't know. I like to do it because I know I have to clean. My daughter has PT every I love it because I know I have to vacuum. I have to make sure it doesn't and it looks neat for them. So I know my house looks sweet once a week now. So, and explain your fundraisers, go through that kind of stuff. I did that today. I got a hold of only 3 people today. It's hard sometimes to get a hold of all 5, but I got a hold of 3 people for my hostesses, and I booked 2 shows. And they had no idea what I did. They didn't see a catalog, nothing.
This is their Facebook.
From Facebook.
Cool.
Works.
I had a reminder to text you, so.
Yeah, see, there you go. I have a couple friends that I know that on Facebook, they don't really know what I do. If you don't get out here too late, I'm actually going to call them for OPs. So, but just reach out, like look everywhere. I mean, if you've been in Premier a long time, pull out those customer receipts, old surveys. I was awful at the beginning about following up with surveys. So I'm doing that now, maybe 2 years later. But hey, better late than never, right?
And if you have a question, you might ask real quick. It's got a point to it. Just like your comments on it. If you would have sent a private message to those people on Facebook, how do you think the response would have been?
I did that first because I was so nervous of calling. It wasn't that great. I got some responses, and then they asked for a catalog, and I never hear from them again.
Now I have to say, I agree with calling. I think #1 call. A couple weeks ago, I was not happy with how my calendar was shaping up. So every day I contacted 2 people. I sent in the same blurb, copied and pasted on Facebook. It was just like, oh my God, I hadn't thought about very outside of my comfort zone. People I hadn't seen since high school, like really awkward, right? It worked. Got bookings.
See?
People are happy to help. Like I was like, hey, I'm in the challenge. I said I'm in a challenge. I need 2 more. Some of them hadn't even heard from me. They're like, what? Okay, whatever. Jewelry, okay, sounds good. But I think calling is the #1 way.
It's very uncomfortable. I'll tell you that. It is so far out of my comfort
Without
zone.
discomfort, there's no.
Try crying in front of 30 people. I don't want to hear it anymore. Any one of you.
I think you can't be afraid to hear no. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I've learned because I didn't make phone calls prior to this. I just, my hostesses, whatever. But the worst thing you're going to hear is no thank you. I got one. Call me back after my kid's schedule starts in September.
Do it then. That's
Yeah, I mean that's what I like. Okay, I have it literally on my calendar. Chime up like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Thursday to call them and say, hey, you told me to call you back when you know your kid's schedule. What do you want? What can we do now? Are you free in October on a Thursday? I mean, and only give them a couple dates to choose from. Yeah.
Always just 2 things.
Yep. Because they're just like, because usually a lot of people are like either in their car or at work, they don't really know their calendar. But if you only give them 2 days, they're gonna say, oh yeah, I'll figure it out. Let's do that day.
You also look kind of desperate if you tell them you have the entire month open.
Right.
Don't do that. Any day.
One, to go off of that, I went to the Buffalo Roundup with Lori on Saturday, and one thing they had said is that she actually fills in. Like, Jane Francis is having a show for me on this day, and Anne is having a show for me on this day, so it doesn't look desperate. But then you can go ahead and erase those when you actually get them on there. And I was like, that is awesome.
Make sure that it was people that really wouldn't have shows like
Yes. Yes.
You don't be confused if it's like you put down your cousin and
You're like, oh my God, I have a show tonight. Oh no, it's not. And then the other thing, are you asking like what day works best for them, or are you just shoving 2 dates at them?
2 days because I only do shows Tuesday, Thursday, and every other Friday.
Okay. Okay.
You control your calendar.
Yes.
I find it's like, I have a good analogy of walking to Starbucks. I get very overwhelmed. I can't make a decision. Look at us today. We went to Wegmans and got coffee. And the coffee or tea, latte, Americano. Oh my gosh. I got black coffee because that's what I prefer, right? Well, it's the same thing with that. If you say, okay, anytime September or October, that's overwhelming. But if you say, hey, are you free October 3rd or maybe like September 29th?
Okay.
Oh, I can do the 29th. Great.
And I've had people who say, oh, I don't want to book until November, closer to Christmas. I go, you know something, I'll put it on my calendar for a few weeks when my November calendar opens.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people booking way out there. I'm trying to fill those immediate needs that I had. I mean, now my November calendar is open, but make sure you're only leaving, I mean, obviously it shows if they're gonna book in November